lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Barbara not Barbara Jean's heart. With a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you. I discharged myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat.
I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. We are here to talk about what them soaps. Now, I did have to go to the ER yesterday and I have pink eye, so that's why I couldn't get this out to y'all. And I spent hours in there. But I'm fine. I got my antibiotics coming. I've been taking care of myself so far. I gotta wash all my stuff up, but other than that, I'm good. So we're gonna get this review out to you, and then I'm gonna have today's episode, which is the 12th. I'm gonna have that out to y'all today as well. But with that being said, let's get into it, okay? Let's talk about them soaps. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to hit the subscription button and then hit the notification bell so you could always be reminded and notified about all the great things we have going on over here. And then remember to check the description box down below to figure out how to follow me on different platforms and to get into some other stuff and to contact me with some ideas if you want to send me anything. And with that being said, let's get into these soaps, okay? So Anna, she done went down to the hospital, okay? She down there to the general hospital of the general hospital. Okay, she down to GH, and she's going to see Brennan. And she, Anna came down there. She like, listen, you want to tell me the truth or not? I'm looking for a confession. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said everything that I wanted to. Said she got one on the way. He run and pike me, and Valentine is his source. I done messed up the song. I'm gonna get my jingles together. So she like, I'm looking for confession. Brennan said, I'm about to give you a heads up about what's going on, okay, Miss Girl? And she was like, listen, I just want to let you know that before she can even say, I'm going to give you a heads up, she was like, I'm going to give you a heads up that you going back to the clanker today. Yes, you are. And then here come fake Jagger. He done popped up talking about, and what y'all got to talk about, and what is y'all talking about, and what is you doing here? FBI trumps local police. And it's just like, I'm so sick of him. Where is your son? Okay, do not remember you had a child? We met him on Night Shift. Cameron Boyce played him. Rest in peace, Cameron Boyce. But where's your son? Stone Cates, your son. Hear me when I say it again. Your son. Where is your son, sir? We remember when Robin helped diagnosed him as autistic. That would have been a good storyline to see your son come back to town and talk to. Well, no, because Scott ain't his grandfather. I would have just liked to see the new Stone Cates. Like, hello, welcome to town. Where's your son? Go be a father. I feel like fake Jagger is a deadbeat. That's what I feel like it is. Fake Jagger, he's a deadbeat daddy. That's what it is. Or these new writers have forgotten that this man has a son, and we met said son on the Night Shift. And y'all can't pull like Port Charles type thing when y'all did the Port Charles and y'all brought everybody over and Steven was crazy and stuff like that, and y'all killed off Allison, and boom, we have Rafe and all that stuff. Y'all can't pull that. Y'all can't do that. That's not an option anymore, because if so, then Karen should be alive, because Karen passed away on the Port Charles show. See how y'all can't do that? Y'all can't do that, because Night Shift was just like an extension of General Hospital. What was they doing on Night Shift? Well, we get to see what Night Shift is like at the hospital. Honestly, I'm gonna just say this now. Maybe y'all should bring back Night Shift, and maybe it should air on the YouTube channel for like the people who don't get the listen. Suggestions. We get to see what's going on down to the hospital. Okay, because remember on Night Shift, and I've gone into a whole tangent, but it's okay. Night Shift, that's where we got to see Jason interacting with Elizabeth and Jake when Jake was first born, because he had gotten community service or something like that down to the hospital. That's where we got to see Patrick and Robin, and we got to see more of her pregnancy. That's where we got to see Anna and Robert come back and see that whole situation. Jagger, come on now. And Stone, like, come on. Night shift, we like it. We got to see like the inner workings of the hospital. We got some people down to the hospital we like to see on night shift. Like Liz is the head nurse in charge. Epiphany, my girl Epiphany. Epiphany was having a whole love romance with Billy D. Williams. Okay, hello. Come on, we got to bring Night Shift back. Night Shift was that show. We got to see all the people down to the hospital and all the stuff they was getting on too. It's called General Hospital for a reason. And while we may have our moments down to the hospital, we have less time at the hospital now that most of the characters aren't doctors. Unlike when the show first started back in the 60s, most of our main cast were either doctors or nurses or had something to do with the doctors or nurses. Bring back Night Shift. This is my protest. This is my petition to bring back night shifts. I want to know what's going on down to that hospital. I wants to know because y'all can't convince me TJ ain't getting it on with somebody down to the hospital. Just saying. Anyway, like I said, Fake Jagger pops up. He's a deadbeat daddy. Talking about what y'all doing here. What's going on here? I'm just like, shut up, deadbeat. Sam has Spinelli stressed out. Spinelli is trying to break into the FBI records so he can figure out what Fake Jagger, the deadbeat, is holding over Jason. And I'm like, at this point, I don't particularly care because everybody, when they figure out that he was doing all this to protect Carly, he gonna be everything but a child of God to them. Liz and Sam. And it's just like, at this point, to pivot this, it could whole it literally could be a situation of Fake Jagger, and I'm giving this for free. I'm giving this idea for free. Fake Jagger lied about the whole Carly thing, and he really has Morgan or somebody truly either close to Sonny, Jason, or the whole collective has them either locked up or knows where they are. And he lied about the entire situation to Jason on what they quote unquote had. That's what he said to Jason. But in reality, in the paperwork, it's somebody important that's like ain't been on the scene for a long time that's under wraps. Honestly, I said this and I'll say it again. When Sonny was questioning him on why he became an FBI informant and why he was working with the FBI, when Jason said I was doing it to protect myself, honestly, it should have been, and give me a second. It should have been, I'm doing this to protect myself. And then we see a cut scene to Morgan either laying in a hospital bed or Morgan behind bars. And then it goes back to the penthouse. And it's just like, when you say you're doing this to protect yourself, Jason knows that I'm doing this to protect Morgan. But I could say I'm doing this to protect myself because I'm what? Jason Morgan. But people don't want to do that. BK and Chase, they worried about Finn. They worried about Violet. So they going over down to the apartment to check on Finn. And Liz is trying to call Chase. She's trying to call Chase to give him to download him about everything that happened the night before. But Chase is like, I'll call her back. So he don't pick up. So at this point, BK and Chase don't know that Finn has been drinking to the extent that he was the night before. They don't know about that Huzzy Barb. They don't know that him and Liz have broken up, but they about to know. And I was like, ooh, baby, this is about to be a mess. Because they were like, maybe we should knock. Maybe he's not home. Chase is like, well, then why is the door unlocked? They get up into the apartment, baby, it's toe up from the flow up. Make a young player want to throw up. He done tore the whole apartment apart. He done thrown things around. Gregory's stuff is all over. It's liquor on the table, glasses on the table. I think the keys is still sitting by the door. And it's just like, ooh, this is a little too Caucasian for me. I'm just say that now. It's too Caucasian for me. Anyway. Spinelli and Sam are like, well, we got to have X, Y, and Z to get into the FBI like the documents, and we need somebody's badge. So they come up with a plan to steal the fake Jagger the Deadbeat's FBI credentials so they can get into the paperwork. I said, well, with these two, this plan could either go really well or really bad. We'll see what happens. And listen, I'm here for Brennan. Not all the BS that he's been doing, but I'm here for him for this moment because I don't like Fake Jagger either. Brennan told Fake Jagger in so many words, "You's a lonely bitch. Go find you something safe to do." And I was like, respect, because he is lonely. He ain't got nothing to do, and he always blaming somebody for something that went wrong with his life. Once again, hate that I have to go over your history again, but for some reason the writers aren't going over your history, or they playing games. You cheated on Karen with your partner and was too focused on your career, and you didn't give her what she needed, so she hightailed it back to Port Charles. That is how she ended up in Port Charles. That is how she ended up going from regular General Hospital to the Port Charles spinoff, and ended up getting into a car accident and passing away on that show. Mind you, she had a fulfilled life. She was engaged. She became a doctor. She was living her best life. Ain't going back and forth with nobody, okay? Trials and tribulations in between. But that's how y'all ended up divorced. Because you cheated on that lady and was too focused on your career. When it comes to your brother, because we have to go over this again, you and your brother did not have a good relationship. At a point in time, y'all got close when you were on the show back in the 90s, but then you and Karen got married and fucked off to San Francisco. When your brother got sick, before HIV progressed into full-blown AIDS, you came to visit him once. Just once. And you didn't come back for that man's funeral. Okay, we didn't see you at the funeral. We didn't see you at the reading of the will. You wasn't there for the hospital visits. You didn't convert anything to take care of him. You didn't donate to anything in his honor. That is why Stone visits Sonny and Robin. He does not visit you. When it comes to Jason, you knew Jason Quartermain, and you and Jason Quartermain weren't cool like that because you went and snatched up his old lady, which was Karen at one point. Came to the high school dance and snatched up and said, "Baby, let's go." And Jason is sitting there holding the necklace, and she done broke his heart, and now he feels like she everything but a child of God. He was a little asshole then, but she's everything but a child of God right now to him. Don't forget, Brenda was thrown in there too, because you played with Brenda and played her like a soybean burger. So at the end of the day, Fake Jagger, the deadbeat, we don't want to hear nothing from you because you were the catalyst to ruin your own life. Nobody else helped. Now, other people were there, and no one's saying Sonny is this great person, but you messed up your life all on your own. Honestly, Scott, if your need to go after Sonny wasn't so strong, I really would have wanted you to read down Jagger for the filth that he is, because he broke your daughter's heart. Your daughter would have still been in San Francisco and possibly alive had it not been for him cheating on her. But I digress. Let's get back to it. Fake Jagger the deadbeat has an attitude. Like, he has attitude for days with Anna. And I'm like, how is it that you love Robin as much as you do, but you have so much attitude and vitriol for her mama? Like, what did Anna do to you? I don't like, the man got problems. He do. He got problems. And Brennan, after Fake Jagger leaves, because it was like, how you get here so fast? Well, your guard is supposed to alert me to anybody who shows up in your room. And after Fake Jagger the deadbeat leaves, Brennan was like, listen, he telling you, because I'm gonna just be honest with you, he think you the head of pikeman. He think I passed over being head of pikeman to you, and he been following you. And Anna was like, I really don't care what he doing. He can follow me, but he ain't gonna get nothing. So down to Liz's house, okay, or apartment, or wherever hell she's staying at. I'm just glad she got the hell up out of that house. Where all that stuff went down when Carly found out that Jake was really Jason's, when Lucky went off on her and Nicholas for that affair that they had. It was a mess, girl. Liz has been through some things, and listen, when I figure out how to do reaction videos, oh baby, we gonna react to Lulu going off on her because I said you better do it, and I just want to put in my petition when Lulu wakes up, not if, when Lulu wakes up, can we bring back old Lulu? Okay, that's my request. Anyway, they down to Liz in the kid's house, and Aiden is questioning her about, Finn. And Liz tells him that, me and Finn broke up. And Aiden feels bad. And Jake is like, I don't want to see Finn. I don't care about Finn. Finn ain't nothing. But what about Violet? So Finn come out. BK and Chase is in the apartment. They call for him. Finn comes out. He like, hey. And I was like, he's still drunk. Okay, too jovial. Too jovial. And he tells BK and Chase about him and Liz breaking up. So BK and Chase decide to enact their plan now. Okay, well, y'all broke up. This must be a tough time. We're planning on moving into the Quartermains for a while so we can get our apartment and everything renovated and fixed up, and all the kids are going to be there. James is taking riding lessons, so Georgie is going to be on the property. Obviously, all the Quartermain children or Quartermain children's siblings will be there. So why, why don't you let Violet come stay with us for a couple weeks? Okay, like summer camp, we're going to be on the water, we're going to have a good time, money, mansions. Okay, some people got to have it. Okay, we got money over here. Why don't you come to us spend some time with us? And boy, Finn clocks what the plan is. So before we get into him going off on them, Liz says, you know what? Y'all and Violet are cousins. Nothing's going to stop y'all from seeing her. Y'all still see each other. But Aiden's like, yeah, but when you was with Finn, we saw each other more. But now, what is the situation? What is going on? What is happening? And Liz and Jake finally spill the tea on what happened, which leads to, Jake getting caught up in his lie. Because how was you coming out the movie theater, the Cineplex, or whatever else, whatever they called it? How did you see him coming up at a bar? Where was you at? Where was your antennas? And I was like, ooh, now see, you shouldn't have said you was coming out the movie theater. Anyway, Finn says y'all not taking much trying to take her. We just want her to have a fun summer, after Gregory's death and everything. We just want it to be fun. And Finn says no. Then he tells BK, he gets mouthy with BK saying, I know you're used to people telling you yes, but no. And I said, oh, and then told her to get the hell up out of his apartment. I said, oh my God. So Chase sends BK on her way, says, baby, I'll meet up with you later. I got something to handle. And Finn says, you might as well go with her. Chase said, I ain't going nowhere. I said, Chase, good for you. Put your nuts on the table. Tell them how it is. So we get back to Sam and Spinelli plotting again. They plotting to steal the badge. They following fake Jagger, the deadbeat, around on the cameras. He got a set schedule. He's going to swim. He always keeps his stuff on him. Yeah, this gonna go well. Anyway, and then Brennan, they talk, and Brennan's like, listen, fake Jagger the deadbeat is a true believer, and he's willing to run over and cause harm to anyone to not compromise himself and his morals and what he thinks is the truth. Watch out for him. Sam, we get to Sam. So Sam is in her best wedge heels down to the pool, and she fake trips and accidentally on purpose twist her ankle. So fake Jagger helps her. He didn't squoze her by her back. Okay, he didn't squoze her up. He lifted her up, okay, in bridal style and set her down on a chair. And they get to flirting and he's going for it. Back to Finn and Chase. So Finn tells Chase to go do his job. I can take care of myself. And Chase is like, no, you can't. You've been drinking. So Liz checks Jake about, being wherever the hell he was, that he wasn't supposed to be at when he saw Finn. But then she thanks him because she's like, listen, at some point you thought not to tell me because you don't want to get in trouble, but you still told me. So I thank you as a person for doing that, but I also thank you as my son, and it shows just how much you loved me. But your ass is still in trouble. And thank you for calling Jason. Thank you for calling Jason. So BK goes back to the Quartermains, and Lois is talking to her, and Lois is trying to encourage her, and then BK tells Lois that she's worried about Chase, and it's not because of just Gregory passing away and him having to be the beneficiary. Well, not beneficiary, um, managing the estate and doing all of that. It's the fact that he doesn't have his big brother, and that Finn is in a full alcoholic spiral, and it's a mess. It's a mess, honey. It is. It is. I love Lois. I don't care what nobody says. Lois has been my girl. I love Lois and Ned's their storyline. I loved it more when Lois popped up out of that cake. Happy birthday, Mrs. Ned Ashton, from the other Mrs. Ned Ashton. Lois's marriage to Ned was real. Catherine's marriage to him was fake. Okay? Shout out to Lois. Listen, bring back L&B Records. When Lois was in charge, baby, things were running in tip-top shape. They were. So we get back to the pool. Sam is spilling her guts talking about Jason, and he disappeared and then he came back like nothing happened, and he abandoned this and he abandoned that. And I was like, so I guess I'm going to end up doing a video about this entire situation when it comes to how people feel about Jason being a deadbeat. Because when you look back on how Jason and having children, like having his own biological children, Liz climbed up multiple flights of stairs during a blackout to get that dick. She did that, okay? And she got pregnant. And, it was a whole paternity thing of, is the baby Lucky's? Is the baby Jason's? And then did the time and figured out that, oh, nope, the baby is Jason's. So then she convinced Jason to give up custody. And Jason thought it was the right thing because the baby would be raised in a loving family, 2-parent household, not that dangerous, no enemies coming after him. So he allowed Liz and Lucky to raise his son as Lucky's son. The ultimate sacrifice to do what's right to protect your child, right? And did so for years. And then had to go through the grief of losing him when they thought that Luke and his drunkenness ran over Jake and unalived him, only for it to turn out to be one of Helena's last schemes. So there's that. Then let's go to Danny. Jason and Sam go on their honeymoon, and everybody thinks that Franco grape juiced Sam. Turns out years later he didn't. So, now Jason has another son. But we get back to the fact that everybody thought that Franco grape juiced Sam, and then Sam ends up pregnant, and she got pregnant on the honeymoon. So everybody thinks that the baby is Franco's. Jason is supporting her in that, but he's not very much active participant because this isn't his baby with Sam. But when Taya did the baby switch, or when the baby switch happened, Taya lost her son, Sam had her son, and then Sam's son gets stolen. Jason does everything in his power to bring back Sam's son to her. Once again, Jason didn't know that Danny was his son at this point. So now he has a disconnect, and he did everything in his power to bring back the baby to Sam. And they start to try to fix it, and then he is allegedly unalived. And we know this was a big scheme and plot by Cesar Fajon and Helena to create the perfect soldier. Kidnap Jason, kidnap Drew, take Jason's memories and put them into Drew. And then when Drew was released and was coming back to town, he got ran over and had to have reconstructive surgery. And then we get Billy Miller's Jason slash Drew, rest in peace, Billy. So now we're here, and once again, everybody think Billy Miller's Jason is the actual Jason. So now he finds out that not only is Jake alive, but Danny is his son. Oh, yay! Only for the real Jason, Steve Burton's Jason, to come back to find out that not only is Jake alive, but Danny is his son and not Franco's son. And also Franco is married to, were Liz and Franco married at this time or dating? Either way, all of this is happening. So boom, he tries to be the best father he can be. But you also remember that we don't get to see much, and time and soap operas move in different lengths. So based off what the girls were saying, Liz and Sam, Jason was actually spending time with the boys and giving them the time and the energy and the space. And then all that stuff happens with Cyrus and Nina, and him and Britt taking off, and him ending up in jail and in a hospital and all these other things. Him and Carly getting married and all this happening. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't think that man had time to be a deadbeat, because once again, goes to help out a friend only to get trapped on an island and then get caught up by the FBI, and then fake Jagger the deadbeat keeping him there, and blackmailing him into helping him. See, I don't know if that man is so much of a deadbeat or a victim of his circumstances. And I don't ever like to make excuses for men or deadbeats. Cause you see, I'm not making no excuses for Jagger the deadbeat. He ain't mentioned his son not once. But we can go over this in length, maybe live or something. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Sam is spilling her guts about Jason without saying his name. And fake Jagger the deadbeat is talking about Karen, and it's just like, you sure is worried about your ex-wife who's no longer walking with the living, but less about your son, who we don't even know what happened to him. Anyway, Sam is spilling her guts, just saying everything, telling all the business, just won't stop talking, which gives Spinelli enough time to not only get the ID badge, take a picture of it, scan it, but to also put it back. And FJ is flirting hard. Fake Jagger the deadbeat is flirting hard with her, and I'm like, I don't listen. I feel like he should know that this is a plot and a scheme that Todd has set up to come with us with the bullshit. Because if you knew about Jason Morgan and everyone connected to him, like you knew about Carly, you knew enough about Jason Morgan that when y'all picked him up at the F, the B, and the I off the island, you knew enough about Carly to use Carly against him, quote unquote, if that's really what's happening. But you don't know Sam. You don't know Samantha. You don't know, okay, somebody's lying. So Anna gets to fishing for information with Brennan, and Brennan says, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. While I was good at my job, I got bills to pay. And FJ, the deadbeat, is going to do anything and everything to wreck everything so that he can prove that you is head of pikemen. Okay, that's his theory, and he's sticking to it. So Lois and BK start talking about the alcoholics and the Cerullo family. And I'm gonna just be honest, BK has it coming from both sides of the family. You have her aunt and her uncle on the Cerullo side of the family who are alcoholics, who she remembers like constantly going into the kitchen when they would come over to have drinks, and then they would be bumping into stuff. And then you have the family members on the Quartermain side. AJ was an alcoholic. Who else? Alan was an alcoholic and a drug addict. He was popping pills at one point and drinking badly. I feel like so far that's all we can say about who's been alcoholics. I feel like if we reach back into the Quartermains, we could find some more. But yeah, she has it coming from both sides of the family, so she truly understands what alcoholism can do to, and like the disease of alcoholism, just the disease in general of addiction can do to families. And Lois is, they're talking, and she's like, you can't help, like, you can help somebody as much as you want. You could do everything for them, but it's up to them to fix their situation. It's up to them to get help. You can't can't help somebody who does not want to be helped. And at this moment in time, Finn does not want to be helped. So, do all you can, but don't overextend yourself. And, BK runs it down that Finn is a grown man, but Violet is a child who needs protection. And I'm going to just be honest. As much as people want to say that BK and Chase are overstepping, when it comes down to the fact that there's a minor child in that household, somebody needs to overstep. Her mama ain't been seen in years. Where the hell is Hayden? We don't know. Just like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, we want to know where in the world is Hayden Barnes. Her dad is an alcoholic. And before then, he was a pill popper. He was a drug addict. And her grandfather has just died. The grandmother on her other side we can't trust. Liz's father ain't nowhere to be seen. Liz and Hayden's shared father ain't nowhere to be seen, and I don't think Violet knows that man. What else is there? Liz has her own children, own career, and stuff to worry about. And the only people who are truly like, okay, we're married, but we don't have no kids, and we have our careers, but we have a village to help, is BK and Chase. And I'm glad people are actually worried about Violet, because at the end of the day, Finn is not realizing that you're on a full spiral. Instead of going to get help with your grief and actually taking time to work that out, you've decided to drink your blues away. And it's just like, this is not the most healthiest thing. Maybe you should get some help. Where was I? Finn is going off on Chase. He is going off on him. And Chase is, trying to make him see reason, but he don't want to see reason. He just keep going off on him, saying the meanest things ever. And I'm just like, listen, at one point in time, Chase's paternity was up in the air because you and his mama slept together. That's enough for Chase to be like, you can't talk to me. Anyway, everyone down to Liz's house is calling everyone down to Liz's house thinks that Jake calling Jason is top tier, and that it was a great thing to do. And like I said, he asked Liz, am I in trouble? And Liz said, yes. I don't know what you thought this was, but you don't get off that easy over here, because you was doing something you wasn't supposed to do. Now back to Spinelli and Sam. It's going to take a month for Spinelli to get through all the all the documents to figure out what they have over Jason. So Sam need to sit that little red Corvette down and be chill. Anna asked Brennan before she leaves, I'm the only person connected to the case that kicked off all of this. Would you have unalived me? Brennan said, listen, I don't like to, speculate on things. So it was a yes. He would have offed you, Miss Girl. It would have been some slow singing and flower bringing for you. It would have brought all the people out. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. Okay? And we'll get back to Lois and BK. And Lois tells BK, you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on yourself. You need to actually take time and grieve on your own, because you love Gregory too. And maybe Finn will pull it together. Just maybe. Lois, I don't believe that. And I know you're trying to say encouraging words, but he's not going to pull it together no time soon. And, Lois says you're supposed to be honeymooning it up and you're supposed to be traveling. And BK says, listen, we could go on a honeymoon anytime. The type of love her and Chase has is out of this world, and they're going to do any and everything they can to help each other and protect each other and love each other. So that's not a point. And Lois is just happy her daughter found that type of love. Now Chase and Finn, they still going back and forth. And Chase says, I won't let you wreck Violet's life. I won't let you wreck your daughter's life. And Finn tells him to get the hell out. And I was like, oh, that was the end of the episode, huh? Well, this is messy. We'll see what else happens down to the general hospital. But with that being said, that was it for Dim Soaps. Okay, please check the description box down below for all my information. Always hit the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified about everything. And with that being said, I love everyone and I'll see them later. Bye.